بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وصحبه وأجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Today we're going to be talking about, haram relationships, touchy subject, but, something really important, not especially in Western, in all societies.
In all societies, what are you talking
about? This is actually something really important, like everywhere.
Bro, hold up.
Inshallah, everyone can benefit.
Can we just, what's going on with your hair, bro? Bro, he looks like Frankenstein.
Chill.
Okay. But the reason I bring up haram relationships is because recently I've been on a spree of seeing like a lot of videos on social media speaking about like sins that have been normalized in our society. And one of the like ones that is normalized that should not be even close to normalized is being in a haram relationship. And I say this because not only because Allah SWT says in the Quran, don't go near zina, right? But also because
zina.
Yeah, exactly. But also because what's it called? Think about it. Like, what benefit have we ever seen from a haram relationship? What successful haram relationship have we seen and been like, those are the pinnacle of humanity?
You've never seen a successful haram relationship story.
No, exactly. Because look, you have to think about it, right? The one thing I like to always bring up is the simple fact of like the divorce rate in America, right?
So it's 60% or something, or a little bit above that.
Nah, the way I explain it is like, okay, there's no problem in like, let's say a man and woman getting together and having a relationship, but it's the way that they're going about it. Like you see most of society, most teens like, oh, they'll be in a relationship, they'll be in it for a couple of years. Someone might cheat, they might do something behind their back. Like they're in a relationship basically with no foundation, right? And Islam gives it that foundation, right? So like, for example, right, you'll have a guy who's dating a girl, he might be dating her for like a year or two. He hasn't even met the parents yet. He hasn't even talked to the father yet.
And what you're doing is just you're making it, you're living in a fantasy for only a short amount of time until things have to get serious, and then you realize you just wasted all this time.
You wasted all your time, and now you don't want to be a man and go forth and let's say give the woman her rights, or vice versa. Woman doesn't want to have to play her role in.
Yeah, exactly. And the beauty of like this topic is that it applies to everybody. This is not just something where you're saying, oh, I'm only speaking to Muslims. I'm speaking to non-Muslims as well, because they get in these relationships and you see how when they get out of them, they're broken. Their trust is broken. They turn themselves off to society for a time. Like if you look at it on like TikTok or something, you'll see someone who goes through a heartbreak. They'll end up in the gym for months until they turn their life around, and then they come back stronger saying, oh, like this is what my ex was missing or something like this. And it's like, why did it take for that to happen for you to change your life? Why didn't you change your life while you were in that relationship? Why didn't you make your life better before that? Why do you have to go through this one thing for you to say, okay, now I need to change?
And then when you look at it in hindsight, they had a lesson learned. And what was that lesson? Like, you're not supposed to be doing that.
Now, hold on. Now, what's the biggest mistake you see right after? They'll get into another haram relationship.
They'll go back to it.
And then that one will break. And then they'll get into another one and another one, to the point where they're like, man, you know what? I can't settle for a relationship. I'm just gonna go ahead, sleep around, get my sexual intercourse in, and I'm happy. Why do I need to settle down in a relationship? Why do I need to get married? Why do I need to have kids?
Yeah, and then
how many deadbeat fathers are there? How many single mothers are there because of haram relationships? A lot.
Man, how many children suffer from haram relationships? So you're not just affecting yourself; you're affecting your lineage, your family. And then one thing you brought up was how they'll get into another relationship right after. All these are filled with, they'll say, oh, this one's the one. Now, all these are filled with broken promises, broken trust. You can't trust no one. And then I'm not surprised on why people say, oh, I can't trust no one.
Now look, listen. You want another thing? They go back into another haram relationship. You know why? Because haram, right? Now, when it comes to bad habits, think, oh, this one time won't hurt. Then they go again, and then again, and again, and again. Now they're stuck in a constant cycle. Any bad addiction starts off like this, right? So whether it be drugs, alcohol, haram relationships, whatever it may be. And of course, these things are fun for a time being, right? But these things will destroy you later on. Destroy you in this life, destroy in the hereafter, whatever it may be. Allah has revealed what is right for human beings because he knows us better than we know ourselves.
Some people will be in a haram relationship. They don't even know they're in a haram relationship. They think, oh, we're just talking, but they don't have no parents involved. But there's feelings attached already. Like you don't even know, like, and then you end up getting hurt from that, and you wonder why, because you didn't do it the right way.
100%.
And I know
that's scary,
that there are people out there like that, especially like for us as Muslims. There are people out there who a man will start talking to a woman, and before they get parents involved, they'll try to, throw their desires into something. and they may not make their intention clear, but they'll make their intention that they like this person clear, and vice versa. And you know, the danger in doing that is that the ni'mah of Allah can leave. You think that, oh yeah, just because I'm Muslim and I'm looking to find a woman, you know, I may not be looking to date her right now. I might look to get married to her, but I want to just talk to her right now. I want to, you know, we'll flirt a little bit just to see like if we like each other, if we're compatible with each other. But if you're not talking about what it is your end goal is, oh yeah, to get married, let me get your father involved or this and that, then you might not have no ni'mah of Allah. And the horrible thing about that is because you might think, oh yeah, let me do it later. But how are you any different from anyone who says, oh, I'm going to leave this sin later. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing right now and I'll turn to Allah later.
Yeah.
You don't
100%.
know if you turn to Allah later is going to be accepted. You have zero idea. Because what does your intention say if that's the way you think? It thinks, oh, I'm going to enjoy myself for right now, then Allah will forgive me later because He's the most forgiving, because He's the most merciful. But Allah SWT is the most merciful to the one who actively seeks His mercy, not to the one who says, I can get it that time. I can turn to Him next year.
Now, hold on.
Next
This-
Ramadan.
this-
I'll
what
do
you're
it.
describing
this
here-
is because
what you're
this is
describing
the
here is
person
something
who
which is
thinks
not
that they
sincere.
can. Yeah, exactly. The person who thinks they can deceive God. You cannot deceive God. God is the all-knowing, right?
So like,
you think you're gonna deceive God?
yeah, you
Like
gotta
that's
be-
like that same person who's like, okay, I know Islam is the truth, but I'm gonna accept Islam at 80. What are you doing?
Yeah, well,
Similar comparison.
SubhanAllah.
But look, here's the thing though. Like this is actually the weakness of human beings. A lot of human beings know what's good for them, but they'll still choose what's bad for them because you know why? Because the desires, the temptation, and the good feeling that they get in the moment, that instant good feeling, right? It's like that one good example we always bring up. If you give a kid chocolate or broccoli, right? They already know which one's better for them, right? But which one are they going to take? They're obviously going to take the chocolate.
Because of that pleasure that they get right then and there, that when they have it, it is that short-term pleasure that all these sins bring us, but more so for haram relationships because you can keep going back to it.
No, but the dangers of a haram relationship can destroy your life. It could turn someone who is righteous into a disbeliever.
SubhanAllah.
Like,
Yeah.
and in all, like, it starts with a look. So, like, first, lower your gaze. Second, it all starts with a look, and then you just start pursuing little by little, and you don't even realize what Satan's doing to you. In Surah An-Nisa, it says, يَعِيدُهُمْ وَيُمَنِّيهِمْ. Satan arouses them in desire. Arouses. So it looks beautiful to you. The thing that looks beautiful to you is going to destroy you.
Yeah, this is a good point right here because, like, look, for example, right? You have a couple, they'll be in a haram relationship. Everything goes well in the beginning, right? But then once they make everything halal, all of a sudden the whole thing starts to crumble. The whole thing is terrible. Why? Because shaytan left now. You made it halal now. Shaytan has no place in this anymore. So he's not beautifying it anymore. So he's gone. That's why everything starts to crumble.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, everything was looking beautiful because shaytan beautified it for you. You think people think, oh, shaitan's just some devil with horns and this and that. No, shaitan's gonna come to you in the most beautiful forms. He's gonna deceive you.
Like the thing about what Usman just said about how shaitan can deceive you is the way that we have free will, right? As humans. What if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrote someone next to you who is supposed to make you righteous, who's supposed to help you be on the path of Allah so that you can reach Jannah with that person, right? But you have free will. So you chose the one that's going to steer you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You chose the haram relationship. You chose to go with what shaitan said, and you chose that haram relationship. And in doing so, you ended up doing unimaginable things to yourself, irreparable damage to your deen, because it's so hard for us in ourselves to come back from certain sins. Like I know for myself that if I had fallen into zina, I would never forgive myself. And I only know that because I know who I am. I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would forgive me if I repented, right? But we're humans, we're weak, even to ourselves. We might look at ourselves, okay, we may turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the rest of your life, you'll be thinking about that sin over and over again.
And you know what the scariest and most like real thing about it is that it's all your fault. There wasn't any trick involved. There wasn't any like gotcha moment.
Yeah.
Like it was all, you went every step of the way.
Shaitan has weak influence on you.
You made the decision every step
you
of
as
the
a human
way,
being
man.
who made the decision. Now, look, I want to ask you guys a question. Are the pure and the impure equal?
No.
No, of course not. So look, for example, marriage could be a beautiful thing. You get the family involved, you get her family involved, you guys make a connection, you guys are in the halal, right? Allah is pleased with you, you have Allah's blessing, right? You guys go do something. Let's say they're in a room doing their thing, whatever, someone knocks on the door, right? They have no shame in it. But on the other hand, the one who's doing the haram, they're constantly worried about getting caught, right?
They're hiding.
They're hiding, knowing Allah is watching them, right? They have that fear in their heart, that guilt in their heart. Someone knocks on the door, they start scrambling, right? Because, they don't know what to do right now. They can't get caught in this moment. Think about it.
And also,
Right?
it's like something, it's shameful.
Exactly. And they know it's shameful. They feel the guilt in their heart. I want you to imagine, are these two types of people equal? No, of course not. This is a beautiful example that I heard.
Wait, hold on. I just thought of something like, what the heck? Hold on. So, you know how in a haram relationship, you spend so much time, so much effort, so much money on each other, right? You do all these things together, like basically become married, but now with the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So you're doing all these things. If it ends, you feel like it's for nothing. Sometimes, yeah, you may come out feeling like you learned a lesson, but what did that lesson cost you? It cost you all that time, that money, that effort, things that you can't get back. These are things that you can't get back. These are things you're not supposed to play with in your life, right? Like me especially, I don't play with my time. But when you think about it in halal, right? Let's say you seek out a partner to marry them in the halal way. What can you not do when you're trying to make a halal? You're not supposed to spend money on each other before you're married. The time that you spend together, it should be known that with the parents. But it's not time that like it's time you can't get back, but it's not the same as when you're in a relationship because you're not spending every moment of every day with each other. It's not like you're out here sleeping at each other's houses. No, like when you go to meet with them, you go to meet with their family or whatever, you spend a couple hours with each other or something like this, then you leave. It's not like you're there with them every single day. And that's a protection on you because what if it ends? Okay, yeah, it might hurt for a little while, but you know when you're trying to make it halal, this was best for you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When a haram relationship ends, how can you say, oh, this is what Allah wanted? Eventually, yeah, you can see that if you turn back to Allah. You're like, oh, that haram relationship was not good for me. But what about for the people who don't turn to Allah? They just see it's bad luck.
It's gonna destroy them mentally.
Exactly.
I can see how it can destroy someone like mentally.
What do you mean you can see?
Rails.
We see it happen every single day. We see it happen all over the place. We see it all over social media. How many people get cheated on? How many people get backstabbed because of a haram relationship that they were in? How many people feel guilt and shame because of the haram relationship they were in?
That's another thing. When the only thing that binds two people together, like you don't have no contract, you don't have no commitment, you don't have no family involved. The only thing that binds you together is your feelings. You're gonna get cheated. They're gonna betray you. That same thing that you put all your trust in instead of Allah, it's gonna betray you. Anything that you put over Allah instead of Allah, it will betray you.
Okay, now look, listen, I want you to think about it. You're in a haram relationship. You build this and that, whatever. You guys spend so much time together, right? But you're lacking the foundation. Eventually, once you get to a point, that thing is gonna fall. Right? Versus when you have foundation, when you have the blessing of Allah, it's much easier for this not to fall. Right? And of course, let's say you do get into divorce with a person, know that it was a test from Allah. Know that there's blessing in it. At the end of the day, you didn't lose. You still won.
See, but that's the thing. When you have like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you were to get into a divorce when you're married, you have that to fall back on. The people who they don't look to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when they go through these things, what do they have to fall back on? They have nothing. They see either a problem with themselves or what their circumstance or something. They might look up to the sky and say, why me? But then you have the other person who's saying, God saw this best for me. Mm-hmm. So look at the difference right there, right? And like when you see a haram relationship, I've even seen it from my friends who are non-Muslim. They get in these haram relationships. They go through an irreparable amount of like suffering mentally. And I see it in them. And I'm like, man, I mean, you could have avoided this, but would you? No, because like you don't know any better. You're ignorant to the fact that you need to commit yourself fully. You can't just say, "Hey, I'm gonna say you're my girlfriend and I'm your boyfriend." No.
But you know what I see about that though? Like it's like Alhamdulillah. Allah told us in the Quran, we didn't have to experience that. Allah told us, He said, "Wala taqrabu zina." He said, don't even go near such a thing. Don't even go near it. And then like that's Alhamdulillah. That's hukum. Man.
He said, "Don't go near," but there are even Muslims out there who they're gonna fall into this desire because we as humans we desire this companionship, but more so we desire that companionship with the opposite gender over many things, over your family, over your siblings, over your friends. You're gonna desire that type of companionship because what is it for? This is you being able to build a connection. You think that you can have this partner with you going up and up and up, moving up the status in this world.
Speaking of you wanting this relationship more than your friends and your family, you ever had one of your homeboys snake you because of a haram relationship?
True. I was about to bring that up too.
Just think about that. Look, me personally, right? Even like before, like let's say I was religious, right? Whatever. But I'd have friends like, they'd flag on me or they'd prioritize this haram relationship over me just for them to break up in 2 months. Right? Now you costed us our friendship, and you costed yourself this relationship. And now look at you, down.
Destroying yourself.
You could even think about it how when like you see all these cases of cheating, like, bro, you'll see people who get cheated on and the person that they cheated on was like their best friend or something like that.
Yeah.
In Islam, you're not going to see something like that. For brothers and sisters in Islam who fear Allah, you're not going to see that garbage.
What?
Now, hold on. Speaking of haram relationship, it doesn't just apply to boyfriend and girlfriend. It's the fact that men and women can't be friends. Now, understand that our friendship is also a relationship. So if your wife is out here having male friends and she cheats on you,
that's your
why
fault.
are you surprised?
Yeah, don't be
Why
surprised.
are you so surprised when you allowed your wife to engage in a haram relationship with the opposite gender? Why? Why are you so surprised? You see it happen all the time. You see it happen all over social media. Oh, Scotty pimping this and that, whatever it may be.
Yeah, like I remember, like we're going out asking people, can men and women be friends? And the people who are saying yes, I'm like, and we're asking them, oh yeah, can your wife have male friends? And they'll tell me no. So I'm like, how can you say that they could be friends? And the thing is, even us as Muslims, even me, my wife is not going to be friends with any of you. She's never going to be around you unless I'm around. You understand what I'm saying?
She's gonna be in law.
No, but I'm just saying.
Oh, you're talking about
like,
in general.
Yeah, like it's not like I'm about to leave her in the house with you, and it's not because I don't trust you. People are like, oh, it's about trust. No, it's not. It's not even about that. It's just knowing the nature of a man, knowing the nature of a woman, knowing that when our desires are very strong, we're subject to fall into them.
I don't even think you have to explain on that. I just think it's what we're supposed to. What we're supposed to do.
The reason why I don't think you should also explain this is because look, there are also a lot of non-Muslims, right, that say this. I know the nature of a man. That's why I don't want you having male friends. And may Allah guide these people to the religion of Islam, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that they're missing, right? They know the truth in their heart of, oh, okay, men and women can't be friends. I don't want my girlfriend, let's say, to have any male friends or a male best friend, right? But you're just missing that Islam part. You're like, okay, take it to the next level. Get married, right? What is one of the people's biggest excuses on why they don't want to get married? Oh, it's more commitment. What do you mean more commitment? Shouldn't you be committed from the start? Don't you want that full commitment? Imagine this person that you're about to spend the rest of your life with this person. Why not be fully committed from the start?
But one thing someone could say on the opposing side is marriage in America or in a Western society is scary for men.
Now, exactly. Like I said, going back to my point in the beginning, the reason why it's scary is because the way people are going about it. Oh, they date for a couple of years, then they get the parents involved, then they get married, they have a wedding, and then they might get cheated on in 5 to 10 years.
Or they might divorce and the woman might take half his money. But see, when you guys think of something like that, you're already preparing for the worst. If you prepare for the worst, then the worst will happen. See, you could see that, okay, this is the worst that can happen. But when you're getting married, why would you want that? Why would you even think about that? This is the person I want to be happiest in my life with. I'm happiest with them, so I'm going to commit to them, right? So I'm not going to be sitting here thinking, oh yeah, if we divorce, they're going to take my money. If I think that they're going to do that if we divorce, I'm not going to marry them.
So what's your opinion on a prenup?
My opinion on a prenup, it depends on what
circumstance.
Like,
look, listen, my opinion, that's on you. You want to go do that, you go ahead and do that.
Because I do agree with you on the idea that when you're marrying someone, you should not prepare for the idea of a divorce. But the idea of a divorce, it's something which it's real.
Listen, I've even listened to other podcasts where like people would be talking about how successful their relationship was with their wife, and they'll be talking about how we don't even talk about the idea of divorce, and they feel like that had played a big factor. So I don't know. I don't know. That could be true. It may not be true.
Now going back to what you said about prenups. I mean, me, I wouldn't, even if I had wealth, right? I'm not gonna make her sign a prenup because I understand that if this woman really cares about me, if we divorce, she's not gonna be like, oh, I want half his estate, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that if we were divorced, if she needed some money to get on her feet, I would support her with that just to get her on her feet. Because after we divorce, I have no obligation to you anymore, right? But a prenup just shows me that I'm just trying to protect myself. Like, no, I want to protect you as well because I'm still a Muslim just as you are a Muslim.
Like,
right?
yeah, we did previously have something, and that's not something which is meaningless.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
If I were me personally, if I were to ever divorce, right? May Allah protect me from that. I don't want that.
I mean,
but if that were to ever happen, it's not like I'm gonna hate you. I never want to be on bad terms with anybody in my life. I don't want to be on bad terms because what?
Facts.
What type of person am I if I'm on bad terms with someone?
It only hurts you.
Exactly. When I'm going in the grave, what is me having bad blood between you gonna do? I'm gonna be gone.
Or plus, even here's the thing: you see how many people do you see every single day? They'll hate a person or they'll be on bad terms with the person, but as soon as that person passes away, as soon as that person dies, all of a sudden All of a sudden, you want to go visit their family. All of a sudden, you want to be kind towards them. Okay, and it can also work vice versa. You know you're gonna be in the grave, so why not fix things now? Why not be better now?
Like I've had situations like that where people will try to just beef with me, and I'll be like, man, you know, subhanallah for my deen, right? Like, you know, if I didn't fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I would probably destroy you right now. And I'm not saying that in a cocky way. I'm just saying, like, I fear Allah so much that I'm not even gonna entertain you. I'm not even gonna be mad at you. Because it's been in situations where people just insult me, insult my deen, insult everything I stand for, and I'll just be like, you know what, that's cool. And I could retaliate because of the way that you're speaking to me. You're disrespecting me, right? And I could defend myself, but I'm not, you know, I'm gonna let you do that. Because you might be angry with me, you might be angry at some circumstance, you might be angry at the world. I don't care. I'm not gonna lower myself to your standard so that you could see me do exactly what you're doing to me. I don't need that. And that's one thing that like it would go for if I was to get married, because why would I need that? Why would I need the bad blood? If we disagreed on something so much so that we had to get a divorce, okay, so be it. Allahu Akbar. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saw this best for me. That's where this tawakkul will come from, right? And having the tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to know that whatever situation I get in, if this is best for me, it's gonna go my way, right? If it doesn't go my way, then Allah didn't see it best for me.
It's not even about your way. It's about God's way.
Exactly.
Allah is the one who planned, and Allah is the one who decreed whatever is going to happen to you. If it were to come to you, and nothing will make it miss you.
Exactly.
So like, you know, I agree with you.
And one thing you can't miss out on is making dua. Like, why would, if you find someone that you're interested in?
Yes, I wanted to touch up on this. If you find yourself nearing towards a haram relationship, but if you are a rajil, if you are a man, you like, it's only gonna hurt you if you do it the haram way. Why don't you use this as motivation? Why don't you have some sabr? Why don't you have some patience? And like, God's watching you. So if you were to have some patience, restrain yourself, and you know, maybe if you need money, if you need to better yourself, if you need to build up courage to talk to our Father, like Allah is watching you. Mm-hmm. Allah is watching you. So don't take the haram route, take the halal route. Have some patience, have some endurance. It's only going to be a little bit of time, and then you'll be blessed. Like you'll thank yourself and you'll thank Allah for waiting. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. What's a powerful dua? Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilay min khayrin fakir. Read this dua. This is the dua of Musa alayhi salam. You want a wife, you want a house, whatever it may be. You read this dua right here. Powerful dua.
Something interesting I see a lot on TikTok is where I'll see Muslims post about their haram relationship. Like they'll post like past text messages between them. And I'll be like, and I'll see like, oh, them saying like, I love you, this and that. And I'm like, and they'll be talking about in the comments or in their caption or whatever, how this haram relationship just completely destroyed them and that they're trying to turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whenever I look at those types of things, I'm like, subhanallah, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected me from this in times where I didn't feel like I needed the protection, right? In a time where I may have neglected my connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I was still protected from this. I still feared that this could happen to me because I knew that if I did something like this, me personally, I just knew that this would destroy me. This would hurt me to a point where I might fall into like a worse way and go the route of shaytan. Because when you're in a haram relationship and it ends, it's so easy to go the route of shaytan. It's so easy to keep falling into that and just be like, you know what, this one didn't work, I'm gonna go for the next one. Or I'm gonna go for the next one. Or you know what, I'm just gonna stop relationships altogether. I'm not gonna commit, and I'm just gonna start committing zina. It's so easy to do that, or it's so easy to turn to drugs and alcohol.
Because you got that stress in your heart. I'm not gonna lie, a haram relationship, it can cause you a lot of stress. It can cause you a lot of pain, suffering, scars, and that could cause you to turn to something else. It's so many. That's why I say, and I said in the beginning, it's so dangerous.
Well, like, what do you see?
It's
like,
so
look,
dangerous.
imagine you're surrounding yourself, let's say, people who are not as religious as you, right? And you get out of a haram relationship. What's one of the first things that? Oh, let's go to the club with the boys, right? And then you guys go to the club, right? You might have a little drink here. You might have a girl twerking up on you here, right? And then then you get involved into a whole other situation, right? And then you're gonna be now you're going to the clubs every single week. Now you're doing the same thing every single week. Now you're just gonna watch yourself slowly fall, and it's gonna be the ultimate destruction of yourself.
It was crazy because when I was in high school, like playing football and stuff like that, I'd have my teammates trying to even push me into this. Not even into like a relationship. They push me to go and commit zina with a woman just because maybe a certain girl at the school liked me or something like this. But I never gave her the attention because I was like, man, I'm not going to do that. Like, What do I look like just going and doing that? Like, first off, that's degrading for me, and I'm not gonna degrade that girl just because she likes me and go do something like that with her. And then just leave her, never talk to her again or something like that? I was like, nah, man. I would always tell them like, yeah, I'm waiting for marriage. But at the time, I never told them why. I never said, oh yeah, because Islamically I have to wait for marriage. I just used to say, I'm just waiting for marriage. Don't worry about me.
You know what's so crazy? In high school, I said the same thing. And you know what I was told? That's the gayest thing I ever heard.
Yep.
That's literally what they told me. That I'm gay because I want to wait for for a good woman that I'm going to be married to. Imagine thinking about it. And I look, those same people I know now are not in a successful relationship now. Crazy to think of that. Then they were in a relationship. I give them that. But now, are they? Just a couple years ago. Crazy. That's why you shouldn't take influence from these people. Allah knows best. These people don't know best, right? People are just going to talk at the end of the day. And on top of that, these people going to change. They're going to realize what they did is wrong.
This is why I went through a period of self-reflection and just kind of like stopped talking to people altogether for a time and only turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because I was like, man, these people, they always try to tell me these things. And I know it's not good for me. It's not good for them. But me advising them, they're just going to look at me like I'm a roadkill or something, or I'm lame or something like this. And I'll tell them every single time, like, bro, I don't want to do this. Like, and it's not a matter of, oh, I'm afraid or whatever. I'm like, no, I just don't want to do it because it's not good for me. What's going to come out of it? Look, oh, some short-term pleasure. I'm going to be pleasured for 5 seconds. Cool. Now, what do I do after that? Where do I go after that? Where does my life go? How does this help me get success in my life?
At the end of the day, when it comes to any type of success story, it's always the same type of story. Oh, people made fun of me because I was going on the right path. Now these people are bums or whatever. Or let's say those people, they decided to change their life. Now they know what they did is wrong.
They only gonna call you crazy because they can't see your vision. They can't see you how you're thinking. You're just thinking differently.
And also one thing, don't be afraid to say no, just to stay in your boundaries. Like, it's okay. If you want to stay in your boundaries, there's no reason to be afraid of these people. It doesn't diminish your value in any way, shape, or form. And like I said, whenever you say no to something to protect yourself or your goals, it's a deeper yes to whatever it is that you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's so crazy, subhanAllah? I saw this from a streamer who, like, he was basically just challenging everyone. Everyone's saying like, oh, they want to be great or whatever, right? They want to do this in their life, right? But he was like, you still out here talking to that girl. You still out here going to the club. You still out here smoking. You still out here drinking. You still out here doing all the same things that you were doing when you were in high school or something, or that you were doing at a time where you were low in your life. You're still doing the same thing, but you're saying, oh, I want to stack up my bread. I want to get this successful. I want to do this with my life.
Like, you got to get retrospective with yourself. You got to ask yourself, like, did you change?
Or the people that have those things that you want, were they sitting there doing the things that you're doing right now?
You got to.
Or are they doing something different? Like, you got to think about it. If these people are different, they have different results, it's because they did something different. They're not doing the same things that your regular Joe Schmo is doing, right? Now think about the people of paradise, right? Think they were doing the same things as, you know, the guy who's going to the clubs every week? And no, they're not doing those things. Right? These are the people who fear Allah. These are the people who put their trust in Allah. And one of my favorite ayahs of the Quran is whoever puts their trust in Allah, Allah will make a way for them. Like, this is something that I 100% believe in. Right? Always put your trust in Allah, no matter what. When your back is against the wall, just put your trust in Allah, and Allah will make a way for you, no matter what. And matter of fact, He'll make ways for you in ways that you never imagined.
Bro, this is a message to every Muslim and non-Muslim. If you want to change your life, if you want something in your life, you have to have some ambition. You have to have some drive to do what you want to do. You can't be someone who's going to sit there and go and smoke every single day, go to the club, hang out with women, go drink or go smoke, do all these activities that are going to steer you away from the success that you want. If you want success, you're going to go out there and find it. You're going to go out there and you're going to look for it. You're going to do the work to get there. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to stack up my bread, but you don't have any bread. Like, how are you going to do these types of things when you're stuck in the same mud that you've been stuck in since you were in high school? The same people who think that, oh yeah, if I do this, I'm going to reach this type of success. No, that's not going to happen. That's why we as Muslims, we understand that whatever we do, whatever happens to us, that's what's best for us. So long as we have God, so long as we have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is what's best for us. So I'm going to stop these bad habits. I'm going to turn to God, and you're going to see how my life turns around. Even if I'm not making the amount of money or something that I want, even though that my life didn't go exactly as it planned, I knew this was best for me because spiritually inside my heart, I'm happy. I'm rich inside my heart. That's what you want in your life. You're not going to sit there and just keep going through the cycle that you're going through right now, because where are you going in life, bro? You're in the same position that you were 2 years ago, 1 year ago, last month. Like, how do you think your life is going to change?
And also understand, you don't need to have drugs or go and be in haram relationships to have fun. Allah has made a lot of things halal for you and only limited a small amount of things haram. Things that are harmful for you. Why would you want to go out and harm yourself? Why do you hate yourself that much? Why do you dislike yourself that much? You're going to go out here and diminish your value just for temporary joy. This life is nothing but pure amusement.
Yeah, exactly. And subhanAllah, I mean, these are just lessons, right? Just reminders for all of us, you know,
including ourselves.
Yeah, not just
first and foremost ourselves.
Yeah, most like we mostly spoke about like staying away from haram relationships because that's one thing that it can take a toll on you in every aspect of your life. It could steer you away from your deen. It could take a mental it can steer you away mentally.
But you know what's also like interesting about that is that for a halal relationship, you've made it halal, you got a marriage, a righteous spouse can mean the world for you.
Yeah.
It can make you go straight on the right path. You guys could live like a happily ever after. Like it could literally be like that.
Now imagine you guys are entering Jannah together.
Yeah, subhanAllah. Just because you patiently endured that one time, or you were patient, you had trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Like exactly what you said, like a halal relationship. We're talking about haram relationships all this time. A halal relationship, think about it. It will complete half your deen just because you got a spouse who's righteous and they help you on your deen. They help you to pray. They helped you to learn more Quran, to learn more about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the sunnah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. That's completing half your deen. Then the other half is you living out of fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the wrath that you could face if you turn away from him, right? Then also for a halal relationship, one thing Usman said was, think about it. What if I'm destined for so much wealth, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't give it to me until I'm married? SubhanAllah, I thought of that and I was like, man, what the heck? What if because everybody's always fearful of financial stability before they get married. What if financial stability won't ever come until you get married? Until you commit saying, I trust Allah that even though I may be kind of broke right now, if I could pay to get married, I'm going to do that because maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will enrich me later.
It's an investment. Look, I think it's in Surah Nur where it talks about, and marry the unmarried amongst you. And shall they be poor, Allah will provide for them.
Anybody who comes to me talking about financial stability, I'm like, I don't care about that. Don't worry about that.
Because
look, why would I delay making halal with you because I'm afraid of what money
What does society say today? Oh, let me get a house. Let me get a car first. Let me get a stable income first. Yada, yada, yada. Then I'll get married. But Allah, on the other hand, he's telling you to get married first and he's the one who provides for you. Allah is al-Razak, not your job.
And what if you thinking like that delays your risk until the day of judgment or something?
It delays your marriage. Yeah, you're probably not going to get married till like you're...
No, not even delaying your marriage. What if you just think, okay, I'm not going to get married till I am financially stable, but you get to a point where you're financially stable. What if that financial stability was supposed to be double if you had gotten married at the original time you wanted to?
What if financial stability to you is different than what it actually means to be financially stable? Because some people, like once you get to a certain point, they always want more and more and more. They feel, oh no, it's not enough yet. It's not enough yet. It's not enough yet. It's not enough yet. When is enough? When is enough? You got to be able to draw that line.
You can never have too much money, so it's never going to be enough, bro.
Like, look, I think the Prophet ﷺ said, like if a man was given a mountain of gold, he'll want another one.
Yeah, that's amazing. Allah subhanAllah. That's gonna close out this video, man. Just a reminder for us and for you. Let us know if you could take any advices from this and advice that you can give us. Like leave some stuff in the comments for us, inshallah, bidnillah, and leave suggestions for future podcasts in the comments or DM us. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
We hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. Make sure you share this with your friends and family. You never know whose life you can change by sharing this video. Just to remind you, we're not scholars. We're still students of knowledge. And with that being said, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.